Get some people in here and get this party started. We're gonna go live on Instagram.
Do it. Welcome back. Another week. More stuff to talk about, which is beautiful. Obviously,
my heart. You see who got signed today?
I did not.
Isaiah Simmons.
Oh yeah, where'd he go?
Packers.
It's a great pickup. He's a big guy, a lot of speed, very versatile. Very good pickup.
I was literally getting ready to post it. I'm like, hey, he's still available. And then I fucking looked at him. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously we didn't really address. I mean, we took a linebacker with our last pick, but we didn't really address that position.
So I have a theory that Keepon John's gonna do. You can either go inside linebacker or you can try to get another outside. I mean, you already have Roberts. So there are a couple older outside linebackers that are pass rushers and edges. And then there's also a few inside linebackers that we can address. I mean, it's kind of – we did draft very well. So, I mean, we won draft day. We got an A grade. Mm-hmm. Most people are happy with it. I think I only saw one place with Sports Illustrated. They gave us a B. So, overall, we did extremely well. And I'm happy with that. You know, it was – we were all dreading getting a shitty pick in the first round. I think a lot of us were surprised with our second round pick. I was. He wasn't even on our radar. He's more of a possession wide receiver, but he is good. So we'll see what Chip Kelly can do with him.
Definitely. He was not on I mean, if you're a content creator and you said that he was on your radar, you're probably lying to yourself. Because, I mean, he wasn't on anyone's radar, but, I mean, he had one drop pass last year. And it looks like that's kind of what they're rooting for. Bowers, I saw your post earlier. Bowers only had 3 hold on. I need to focus on the ums. We've been doing videos. I need to stop with the ums. I need to process my thoughts and just go with the flow. No more ums. But yeah, if you're a content creator and you said you had that wide receiver, you had Jack Beck going in the second round to the Raiders, you're 100% lying to yourself. There is no way anyone had him there.
You know, at that draft pick, he was probably the best wide receiver available. You saw 3 picks earlier. I think Trey Harris. If Trey Harris would have fallen to us, I think we would have drafted him. But he got picked up by the Chargers. So it is hard to keep track of a lot of these players. Probably the first 10 wide receivers that you kind of know, and then you know who the big explosive guys are. But after that, you're like, man, I don't know who these guys are. So Jack Besh, I knew from LSU, not TCU.
Yeah, I knew exactly. I think most people did.
That's why I knew who he was. I didn't even know he had 1,000 yards. I didn't know he had any drops. I was like, okay, he's a big bodied wide receiver, and he did okay at the combine. I was like, all right, he's a second, third round guy, but he really wasn't on our radar because it doesn't fit Pete's MO. So. I thought we were going to get a big body wide receiver that's fast, but we got one that's more a possession guy, which I'm okay with. He's a good wide receiver, and he was the best wide receiver available at that pick. So that was the only pick I was like, okay, this is a little bit questionable. Where are we going with this? Are we making sure we're giving Geno, no excuses? And that's kind of where we went the first 3 rounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Drafted. Oh, I mean, if we can prove it. I mean, I try to look it up right now real fast. We couldn't.
Once they traded back, you kind of saw that they might get him. But going into it, we all thought we were going to get Higgins, Burden, or Trey. Those are the 3 guys that we all thought because, it was kind of that's where they're in the top of the second. So
I even thought the Raiders might have taken a flyer on Tez Johnson. Just because of the connection, obviously, but I thought maybe they take a flyer on him.
Yeah. So it's this, I saw it and I was like, okay, that's cool. He's a bigger body wide receiver. I think we're going to use him more in the run block game. I think that's what's going to happen. We're going to go 2 and 3 wide. You got a guy that's 6'1", then you got Jacoby Myers, who's a decent enough blocker, and then you got Thornton, who's 6'5". They're going to be able to move some cornerbacks around. So I think it's going to be a little bit heavier run game. Hey, Pete Carroll loves his running back. So, I mean, just dive into that.
Yeah, before we dive into the next topic here, we got one from Roberto. What do you think about the Raiders trading back twice? I think it was the best thing they could have done at the time.
Yeah.
I need to stop saying it was the best thing to do at the time for sure. When you're trying to stockpile picks, you have a lot of holes to fill. It's the best thing to trade back. I think that they had fleeced who they trade with. I want to say Seattle, but it's not Seattle. Miami. They had fleeced Miami for that second rounder.
Yeah, I agree. I was like, we're trading back. I'm like, oh shit. Oh, okay, I saw the second. I'm like, we just got a second. Then I saw the fourth, and I'm like, we're good. We're good. We got more value for both of them. And then we didn't reach the players. They targeted who they wanted. Like, we're gonna go get a guard. We're gonna get a guy that's gonna be a tackle. I don't think in the NFL that Rodgers is going to be a tackle. He's listed as a guard. He's probably going to try out as a guard. He's going to go in there and compete with Meredith and Parnham. So he's kind of bigger body than they are. So we'll see how he does in the NFL. And he played a high level competition, played Texas Tech. So he's, can pass block. And that's one of our problems, especially last year. That's what was frustrating. People's like, oh, we have an average line. I'm like, dude, we gave up 50 fucking sacks. What is average about being bottom of the league? Like, we had some of the worst run blocking in the NFL. Like, yeah, you can blame Getsy. You can try to blame running backs. But 2 years in a row, and then last year you saw how poor Jacobs did and then how well he did with Green Bay. So you kind of see that. It was probably our line's fault a little bit and some of the scheme. So they're trying to really upgrade that. Caleb is going to be a good guard. He's one of those nasty guys. I really wanted Tate, but he went, a little bit sooner. So I was praying for JPJ and Tate Rutledge next to each other all day. I was like, I want those guys. They're just mean.
I like it too. I like the way that they weren't pressured to go, reach for that pick with the third round selections of the both offensive tackles back to back, fourth rounder. They weren't scared to take them back to back, which is cool. They weren't pressured to go take Shador or any of those type of players. I'm a huge Shador fan, but I mean, it's kind of crazy his drop off. I'm not going to talk about it, but I'm happy they weren't pressured into falling into the trap. I guess you could say.
I mean, to me, that's the steal of the draft. Regardless of what you think of him, he's probably honestly a late first round talent, and you got him in the fifth. That is the steal of the draft. I don't care what you say, how much you hate him. If he's a average quarterback as a fifth round pick, the value of that pick is obscene because you can get average quarterbacks in the first round. Yeah. You can get average quarterbacks in the top 10, and it happens. So getting one in the fifth, it's pretty wild. So
and to think about it too, in the fifth, he's gonna make like 1.2 million, maybe. Dude, he's
making less than NIL.
He's gonna sell that in jerseys. It's a free pick. It's I mean, it's a free pick. He's gonna sell. He's easily, if they put his jersey on sale, he's gonna sell his jersey.
My favorite stat of the draft was Quinn Ewers. Quinn Ewers turned down $8 million for 1 year in NIL to get drafted in the seventh round, and he's going to make $700,000.
You got to take that risk, though, man. You got to take that
risk. $7.3 million. I'm like, oh, that one hurts.
Yeah, that one did hurt. Well, let's dive in a little bit here to the.
I said it earlier, and people thought I was nuts. I said Genty was BPA, even with Travis Hunter on the board. And I still feel that way. I don't care. I know Travis Hunter played two ways, but Genty at his position is better than Travis Hunter is at either of his. So we got BPA at 6. We got the best player in the draft at number 6.
I like Travis Hunter. I think Travis Hunter just because of the dual. I love Ashton, though. Ashton's a great pick. He fits what we needed. We needed a running back, obviously. We were almost dead last in rushing last year. Yards per game, so on, so on. So I love Ashton. I love the pick. You got your future running back for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Even though he's the second highest paid running back in the NFL.
So that's what frustrates me. People are saying that they're using that as, I hate to say it, clickbait. Don't be clickbait. Over the next 4 years, because his contract is 4 years with a 5th-year option. Over the next 4 years, he's the 9th and 10th highest paid running back. That's what he is. He's getting paid the same as Troy Pollard. So everybody's saying, oh, they overpaid this and that. He did this. It's like, no, he gets high paid the first year. Then after that, it kind of tapers off because everybody's contract is backloaded in the NFL. So after his 4 years, if you look at it without an extension, he's paid 9th or 10th the highest. He's paid the same, literally almost as identical as Troy Pollard. So to me, that's a bargain. Is he better than Troy Pollard? Yes. So he's going to be one of those guys that gets $15 million a year. He's going to get that Saquon contract.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, and then we control his 5th-year option, which is nice as well.
Yeah, we're gonna be like, nah, you can hold out.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the other part about Genty. He's same with Travis Hunter. They love football. You see how happy they are playing. You saw the loyalty of Genty to his team at Boise State. You saw him turn down NIL deals for a lot of money to stay at the team that recruited him and gave him a shot. To me, that guy seems like he's not about money. He's going to take less money to be happy and to be in a consistent place than he would to just run away and try to get the bag somewhere. And you see a lot of players do that. To me, Travis Hunter was loyal to Sanders. So you'd see like, hey, I'm going to be loyal to my coach. I'm going to be loyal to my team. That's something you don't find very often in a lot of players. So that is a big deal. It's a big character move to me. And once you saw that come out about Boise and him turning down NIL, Travis Hunter was giving money away. You're like, okay, these are actually good human beings that are extremely good at football. That makes them an even higher value to me. So I'm glad we got him. I think he's going to be a running back for years to come. And I hope to God we don't pull the Jacobs thing and let him walk this time.
I agree with you there. I hope he stays healthy. He's a young running back. He's a great building block with Brock Bowers along that offense. So I'm hoping for the best there. Yeah. Running backs obviously take a lot of hits. They take a lot of pressures. They take a lot of that, that wear and tear. But running backs are valuable. Saquon proved it last year. NFL has been a run game for years and years and years. So it ain't going anywhere.
Quinty is going to be 20 to 25 carries a game. He's going to get a lot of swing passes. They're going to get him out in the open. And I think we're going to be running more of a spread offense with our speed. So I think we're going to do a lot of like pistol shotgun sets and a lot of like single back and spread the offense with a one tight end set. I don't think we're going to run 2 tight end sets. I think Mayer's not going to get much playing time. He's going to be more of a blocking guy. There's too many weapons to get him the ball anymore.
I will say, I think Mayer, obviously he wasn't traded, I do think he's going to play a big part in the offense, but in the running game. I mean, obviously he won't be a passer.
Yeah. That's the one thing he's better at, Bowers, and it's not even like close. He's such a better blocker running wise. So but with me,
you can run the 2 tight end set, kind of like that old school Patriots team.
Yeah, and to me, I think we have too much speed, so I think we're going to do a lot of one set. Because we have so much speed and we have bigger bodied wide receivers, we're really going to spread them out and say, hey, we're going to get Genty on a little bit on the outside of the tackle, and he's going to run the fuck over your safeties and nickelbacks. Because you're going to have a nickelback that's probably going to be 5'10" and under, maybe $170, $175, trying to tackle this 220-pound 5'9" guy. It's not going to end very well. So I think we're going to be doing that a lot. Now we can talk about Jack Besh. Oh, I put Beck. Did I spell it wrong? Yeah, I did. I put the fucking autocorrect. Did you freeze? Did I freeze? What happened? Are you there?
At least my
stream. What the hell happened?
I don't know.
Oh, well.
Yeah, we're back in.
Now I move sides. That's weird. You're always on the other side. No. All right. So now we are going to get into the third round right now. So Porter in the third round. So I talked about him a couple months ago. I said this is a Pete pick. That is a Pete guy. And then you saw Sports Illustrated, all these other channels reiterate that. He is the later round developmental guy. If you guys did not know, he played wide receiver at Iowa State. Couldn't really crack the starting lineup. So they said, hey, let's transition you to cornerback. Started 1 year, and now he's a third-round pick. He is the biggest, fastest guy on the field on defense. He's 6'3", almost 200 pounds. He's going to get a bigger NFL body. He is a massive corner, and he's faster than just about any wide receiver. He scored an almost perfect score in his RAS compared to other cornerbacks in the league, which means he's bigger, faster, stronger, better arm length, better intangibles, 20, 40, 10-yard. He's just the top echelon of 1% of athletes in the NFL at cornerback. So that tells you something. So he mixes size and speed with that. Also, Pete is very good at developing late-round cornerbacks. That's his MO. He only had one guy that was in the first round, the Legion of Boom. So this to me is our steal of the draft. I don't think he'll start day one, but I do think year two, he's going to have a huge leap, just like Sherman did, and then be an elite corner and take over as cornerback one for us.
I do like Porter. Iowa State does develop really good defensive players. They've had a good defense the past 2-3 years. Their players are going to start coming out. So I'm happy to see what Porter is going to do. I believe he could be that Richard Sherman for us. Pete Carroll does develop those late guys very, very, very well. So I'm hoping for the best for Porter.
Yeah. And if you saw him play wide receiver, and if you saw him play cornerback too as well, like the ball tracking skills, people, they were throwing 50-50 balls against him, and he was going up and catching them like a wide receiver. I'm like, I was just watching him like, why are you that fucking stupid? Like, first of all, your wide receiver is slower and smaller than the cornerback, and you're just like, hey, fuck it, he's out there. And you see Porter turn around and catch it. I'm just like, yeah, he's going to be a dog. He's going to get beat. He's going to give up dumb plays because he lacks experience. He has 1 year of starting at cornerback. That's it. So he's going to rely on his athleticism heavy, but they're going to coach him up and they're going to invest in him because he has more athletic ability and more potential to be a good corner than most cornerbacks in the draft. He has no injury problems. He's bigger than them. He's faster than them. He's stronger than them. You know, you see somebody like Will Johnson who might not come back. You see somebody like Barron who's like, oh, he might be a slot corner. It's like, I'm not wasting a top 10 or 20 pick on a slot cornerback. Like, I want somebody that's going to get shut down. So to me, in the third round, lights out, steal.
I like it. I like it. We got one real quick. Come through to J-Lot. I'm usually in J-Lot. I mean, I bounce around, so Josh
That's
is
where
in
I'm.
J-Lot.
Yeah, I'm always in J-Lot.
Right there. We taking tequila.
So I'm going to tell you guys, we got some people tapped in. I'm going to tell you guys my first game day, what I'm going to do. I thought it'd be fun. Whoever blows the highest blood, drink responsibly. Whoever blows the highest blood alcohol content is going to get a prize. So I actually have a breathalyzer. I have changeable mouthpieces. So we're going to do a video with that. And then whoever blows the highest is going to win.
It's a fun game.
We're going to have some fun this season.
It's a fun game. I'm getting over a sickness, by the way. So if I sound out of it or something,
my throat is killing me.
My fault, guys. I'm getting over a fucking almost died. I feel like
that. So now this is my
favorite pick of the draft.
Yeah. This is what's wild. We both and multiple content creators were like, hey, we all want Porter. We all want Thornton. Like, we all want these guys because they're athletic ability. Then we got them, we're like, oh, fuck. Like,
I love this guy. He's my favorite pick of the draft.
Yeah.
He's going to tear it up. He's going to be such a good slot wide receiver. He's going to be able to stretch the field. He's going to open up those underneath routes for Bowers. He's going to be awesome.
Yeah. So I would say to him, everybody wants to compare him to, oh my God, Jesus Christ, Metcalf. But
I don't know about Metcalf. I mean,
Metcalf. I'm like, no, he's not that polished. Yeah. Metcalf is ripped out of his fucking mind and just as fast. He's not a true wide receiver. Thornton, he's more of a deep threat. He doesn't catch that many balls. He doesn't drop very much because he doesn't get the ball thrown to him very often. Yeah. To me, he's more of a Martavius. That would be my comp for him. He's super lean, super big and fast. He's going to stretch the field. Not the best at route running, not the best hands. He can block, but he's going to catch a lot of deep balls. He's probably going to be in the 500 to 700 yards a year until he takes over or he gets a little bit better. And that's okay. As a deep threat in college, he averaged 25 yards of reception. So he's catching deep balls left and right. That's what he's good at. So until we teach him how to be more complete wide receiver, that's what he's going to be. But that's what we need because we have Tucker to help him out with that too as well. You got two guys that run, 4.40s out there on the edges. So it's, and Bowers is super fast too. So it's just going to extend the field and let Bowers and Jacoby Myers really catch things in the middle. Their production's going to come down this year because of the weapons and Genty, but they're going to have a more efficient year this year. More touchdowns, I'd say.
Yeah, I think Thornton's going to be able to stretch the field. He's going to be able to take a safety with him, which is going to be great for the offense. You take a safety, you take two guys with you going that fast down the field. That opens up Bowers over the middle. That opens up Jacoby Myers on a curl route, whatever he's running, So there's a lot of potential there with Thornton. I love Thornton. I love the pick. You put
We're
him
going
on
to see a lot of cover two. Watch a lot of cover two.
A lot of cover two.
I think teams are going to stack the box because they're going to be afraid of Genty, and these speedsters like Thornton and Tucker and Bowers are going to get behind the defense. Bowers has enough speed to get behind the defense. He's not going to break the pass, but he'll catch a 20 or 30 yarder all day.
Yeah,
so I think they're
to expand on that. If you have to throw an extra DB out there for Bowers, that also opens up the running game. That just opens up so many possibilities.
Yeah. So one of my favorite quotes was when Randy Moss went to Belichick and they were running cover one and a couple other things in practice. And Moss was like, "You're never going to see this with me." And Belichick was like, "What? Who the fuck?" Like he was like, well, "Who the hell do you think I'm?" He's like, "Watch cover two all day." He's like, "That's everybody. That's all anybody runs against me, so I don't get past them, and it doesn't work." And he's and Belichick admitted the first game we had him, he's like, they ran cover two 90% of the time. After that, I realized I'm like, I have to prep our offense for cover two pretty much every game. That's all we're gonna see because Randy Moss will go deep. And I was like, that's pretty
funny. Question here. We could probably hold that one, but we could talk about it. What our ceiling record would be now with the draft.
I said 6 to 10, depending on how things go our way. I think we're in the same spot because the draft is supposed to make every team better. So I would say 10 wins and a wild card loss is our cap right now.
I agree with that. I think 9 to 10 wins is very realistic, but I can also see us going 5 and 6.
Yeah, I mean, if things don't
win, not 5 and 6, obviously 5 to 6 wins.
Yeah. So Denver is good. They have a top defense. I think next we'll have
out for the season.
What the hell happened?
He tore his labrum.
Already?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I will tell you, I tore my labrum. That shit sucks. I had to get it surgically repaired. I was off work for like 3 or 4 months. I couldn't work out or bench for like 6.
Yep.
Sucks. And he's a professional athlete. Yeah. So he does a lot more with his body than I do.
I told major loss in Denver already.
Yeah, labrum tear is not fun to deal with. So I'm guessing he has a complete tear because mine was a partial, and I just kind of worked through it and then got surgery later on. So if he has a full tear, he can't play. If it's a partial, you kind of work through it and take pain meds. But yeah, it's probably a full tear. He's going to be out, 6 to 12 months.
Yeah. How we doing, Big Jake?
I like brisket barbecue.
I like brisket. Yeah, we got a tailgate at a Raider game. Man.
These are a couple of Chip Kelly picks to me. So I would say Chip Kelly. He's going to go nuts with these guys. So the first one is quarterback wide receiver Tommy Mellott. What's funny is most of us that are really into football, we watched the D2 championship game and we saw our two quarterbacks that we drafted play against each other. Tommy Mellott is not a quarterback. That dude is a wide receiver running back who throws the ball a little bit. So if you guys ever watched his stats, it ran for like 1,500 yards. He's a running back. Dude is stupid fast. He was one of the fastest guy in D2. He's going to be one of the fastest guys in the NFL when he's on the field. He is Julian Edelman with speed. He is a quarterback that's turning wide receiver. That's a smaller frame that can just run fast and is super athletic. So I'm really interested in what we're going to do with him because he's not big enough to play tight end. So he's not a Taysom Hill. He's not a fullback. He's not going to be, a special team guy. He might be a returner, but I can see making some adjustments to where he's in the slot. He's the fourth wide receiver out there. Maybe we're doing some swing passes with him just to get him out in the open and let him use his athletic ability.
Mm-hmm. I watched a little bit of that championship game. I know that they played against each other. I know Tommy Mellott, his comparison, everyone was saying is Taysom Hill. I think he's a lot faster than Taysom Hill.
He's a lot faster.
So it'd be fun. I mean, it's a fun project. I don't hate the pick. He might even just be a practice squad guy because they can use him everywhere. But I mean, he's gonna be there. We'll see what he can do.
Yeah. Well, no, if you ever heard the story of Taysom Hill, they're pretty much, hey, you got to learn how to play special teams because you're not going to be a quarterback in the NFL. So you got to learn these other positions. So they're going to probably go to him and say, hey, you got to play wide receiver. You got to learn how to be a gunner. You got to learn how to be a returner. You got to learn how to be a swing tailback. You have to learn all these positions. You got to learn how to be a slot because that's how he's going to bring value and create mismatches. It's not going to be dropping back and throwing a pass because the guy's not a college quarterback. he got drafted for his athletic ability. So when you're in the 6th and 7th rounds, you literally have a 1 to 2% chance to being a quality NFL starter. That is your chance. I think it's about 5 to 8% of the players drafted in that round actually make a roster, but you have a 1 to 2% chance of making the team as a quality starter. It doesn't happen very often. Yeah, so somebody like that in that round, you're drafting, hey, is he going to be a rotational player? Hey, can he develop? Okay, what's his athletic ability? So you're finding guys that you have that high score, that high speed, that athletic ability that you can develop into certain things. So I think that's where he's at. I think we'll see him develop a little bit, but we'll see. We have a good wide receiver core now, so it's going to be hard for him to break into that, especially never playing it before.
I like the take. Raider Ramble, how you doing, brother? Tommy Mella is Julian Edelman. All right.
He's drilling with the jetpack, bro. Real faster. I posted a video. My first thing that I posted, I saw one of his highlights was him just literally running full speed and hurdling a guy, like just jumped wide over. I'm like, I've never seen a white guy run that fast since Cooper DeJean. I was like, Jesus Christ, that dude's fast. Cooper, no, we don't need a wide receiver now. We don't. We have Besh. Cooper would be a wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4. There's no point in bringing him in. He's not a good team player. He already wanted out of the Raiders once. I don't think he's going to come back. If he does, he's not going to be productive. He can't run routes anymore, and he drops the ball all the time. So it's just that's that nostalgia feel. Like, oh, he's going to bring back the Oakland vibes. Like, no, we weren't any good with him anyways.
I disagree. They were good with him. I disagree. The 2016 year, they were really good.
One good year with them, I think.
Yeah, 2 good years. 17 was good. I mean, their defense was ass in 17 compared to 16. But
yeah,
I would have wanted an Amari Cooper reunion, but he would be a 3rd, 4th receiver. It depends what he comes on. I don't want to pay him more than like $4 million, maybe with incentives, maybe 7. But he's not it anymore.
This Raider just got into it. That is actually our next topic. So, JJ Hughes. So, if you guys didn't know, this guy was a tight end when he got recruited. He was a tight end and fullback. And same thing as Porter. Couldn't break the roster. They're like, okay, we can use him somewhere else. He's a bigger body. He converted from tight end and fullback to defensive tackle. So, he has hands and he can actually run routes, which is wild. He was smaller when he played tight end, but he was still in the 250, but he caught 12 passes or something like that his freshman year. He is a blocking fullback. He knows the position. He knows how to block because he played tight end for so many years and then converted against tackle. I think it'd be freaking awesome to see him on offense. Just that big body. He's going to block better than Bowers is. On that line, throw that big boy in there and let him hit somebody. That would be – and he's a 6th-round pick, so make him earn his position. Make him earn that.
Raiders are going to start doing the tush push with them out there, huh?
Get that big. I mean, what is he? I think he's like 280 or so?
Yeah, I was just looking up his stats right now, too.
Yeah, I think he's like 280 or something like that. But yeah, he's a smaller, faster.
He's 324.
No, I thought he was smaller than that. Really?
No,
is that combine or ESPN? Because usually they're different.
That is
ESPN has him at 309. I thought he was like 280.
ESPN has him at 325.
Yeah. So for him, he reminds me of more like an Adam Butler style. Okay. He's not a run stopper. He's a pass rusher. That's what he's good at.
I wouldn't mind him plugging up the middle. The defensive line is going to be very, very crowded if he does end up making the team, though.
Yeah.
Depending on Wilkins.
We got it.
The Wilkins injury might linger a little longer than expected.
He was at camp.
I know, but we'll see. Bro won't even play. He might not. Yeah. He might not.
Colleges or players drafted that late in the round don't play very often, if we're being completely honest. So, he had 3-4 sacks each year. He's pretty good at getting to the passer. He's a big. I thought he was like 280, but he has guys like that. You got to find a spot for him. You have to earn it. Like you got to use different positions. He had 7 touchdowns last year, something like that, playing fullback. Like he runs the ball at 4 yards. Yeah, he had 7 rushing touchdowns last year. Like that's insane.
That is insane.
Yeah. I mean, like he ran the ball like 20 times and scored a third of it because they just give him the ball when he's down there. He's too big to stop. So, they didn't throw him the ball. He caught passes when he was a freshman, but he could be a short yardage guy, or they can fake it to him and run a boot, stuff like that. There's ways to get him the ball. There's ways to mess with people because they see him coming at fullback. They're like, okay, is this a facade or is he getting the ball for 2 yards? It's a real question, and it creates problematic matchups. If you see somebody like, let's say our old fullback, Alex Ingold, blocking, we know Ingold's not really going to get the ball very often. Mm-hmm. We know Ingold doesn't run hardly ever, even though he scored the first touchdown ever in Raider history, if you didn't know that. He's not really going to run the ball very often. Somebody like JJ, they're like, oh, he actually did this at the college level. He might do it here now too.
You meant Las Vegas Raiders history.
Yeah. He was the first touchdown taker.
I do.
I have to look up the first Oakland touchdown. I did. I will tell you, I actually met. I had him as a patient too. I went to an autograph signing. They met him on later in my life. The first Raider ever. I have an autograph that is like 30 years old in my garage, and it's going to bother me because I'm not going to remember. He was number 44. He was the first Raider ever.
I couldn't tell you.
I have to look it up. But yeah, that was his thing. He's like, I signed the first contract ever with the Oakland Raiders in 1960.
One of my customers, he gave me this cool. I gotta find it real quick. I have it downstairs. But it's a Raider logo, and it's signed by who the Raider logo is, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that cowboy guy.
Yeah, the cowboy guy. If you guys don't know, it's a fun trivia question for your friends. There is someone behind the Raider emblem,
and it's not me. So
there is someone behind the Raider emblem. So as you can see, there is a guy behind there. He was an actor cowboy back in the day.
Yeah, and that's who they made it. So our Raider logo used to look kind of Hispanic, but he was white. But if you ever seen, oh no, I'm serious. Like he had the handlebar mustache, the skinny, really like you've seen like the 50s movies, like shaved down and like super skinny and came out. That's gonna bother me now. Also, the first Raider ever.
Oh, I know.
Watch me Google this and it'd be wrong. Maybe the guy was just bullshitting with me.
And for your friends, the person behind the shield is Randolph Scott.
There you go.
Randolph Scott. He's an old cowboy actor, Western movie guy.
Googling it, 1960. He's number 44.
But a lot of people don't know there's a guy behind the actual Raider logo.
Yeah.
Stoned Raider is what I'm gonna do after because I'm still hurting.
That's funny.
Man, my sickness it's been hurting. I watched the draft and I was like, damn, I'm felt like shit.
I found it. Bob Dodderly. That's who it was.
Bob Dodderly. You could have never pulled that name. If you had a gun to my head, you said name that guy. I would have never named that guy.
Fun fact: my mom did Daryl and Monica's home loan.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was a kid, and she calls me, and she's like, "Do you know who he is?" I'm like, "Yeah, he played quarterback for the Raiders." And he's like, "Hey, Josh, it's the Mad Bomber." I'm like, "Wait, what?" Like, because it's so long ago. Like, calls me from I was on my home phone. Cell phones weren't a thing back then. I was a kid, and yeah, and I went to the office and met him. Same thing. I still have the autograph that he signed me. It's 30, probably 25 years old. But I ran to him. I was like, "Yeah, my mom did your mortgage." And he's like, "What?" Oh, yeah, in Lodi. He's like, looks at me like, "Jesus Christ, you really did, huh?" I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "That's how I know that." I'm like, "You probably don't remember, but you called me, and then I met you, and you signed an autograph for me." I was like, "But I met you at the title company."
That's great. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. I have a funny story too about a player. I don't know, it just popped into my head. The Raiders were doing it was like a Toys for Tots. It was around December. Over in, I think, like, it wasn't even Livermore, it was like Davis. And me and my buddy had went. We drove up. I I ended up going to the restroom, and DJ Hayden stands right next to the urinal, and I'm peeing, and I kind of look, and I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "DJ Hayden." He goes, "Yeah." It's like, "Let's just pee real quick," because we were both standing on the urinal. I was like, "Okay, my man." Like
another man at the urinal, dude. That's
he's still right next to me, bro. There was he broke the urinal rules. I mean, rest in peace, Hayden, but he had broke the urinal rules.
I don't want to beat a dead horse, but did he smell like burnt toast? You know, it's just
nah, man, that's bad, man. Come on.
Hey, that was the first guy we used to make into burnt toast memes.
That's bad. Yeah, it was pretty funny. He said right next to me, like, this fucking guy, man. Alvarez, Arch Manning incoming next year. You know how bad we have to be for Arch Manning?
We're not going to get Archie next year, man. So the NFL, the way too early NFL mock draft came out today. Let me tell you who we got. We picked up the quarterback. They have us at the 6th pick. So first of all, the fucking disrespect.
Crazy.
I wouldn't be unhappy with that pick, but I don't think we're going to get it. They have us getting Lenora Sellers out of South Carolina. He's going to be a top 10 quarterback pick, most likely. Crazy. But yeah, that's putting us as probably another 6-win team. I don't think that's going to happen. Like we have too much talent.
And I don't want to open that can of worms, but Archie Manning has started 2 games in college.
It's the name. The name's going to get you.
The name's going to get you, just like Shador.
Yeah. But, you know, I think you had us taking Overton. Me? I wouldn't mind a left tackle when we drafted, but I think next year we'll probably address the quarterback position most likely. I would really think that, and that's okay with me. If we are competitive this year and we take a quarterback in the 1st or 2nd round next year, I think we're okay. Everybody's like Cam Miller. I'm like, bro, he's in the 6th round quarterback in a D2 school. Like, good luck. Like, come on.
AOC's not the best, but AOC's gonna beat these guys out. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. AOC's a quality backup. Ooh, what players do we cut? Oh, hopefully Luke Masterson. Okay, that's number 1. Goodbye. We cut Richardson, right? The Carmian Richardson out of Pitt. We cut him. I saw that the other day.
I would have to go through the roster just to see who's left to cut.
But I don't think very many linebackers are going to cut. Is the weak position. We're going to cut a lot of corners. We do have a lot of cornerbacks. We're going to cut some wide receivers. I think the wide receivers are going to be obviously Jacoby, Beach, Tucker, and then Dante. And then that 5th and 6th wide
receiver. Alex Bachman.
Yeah, that 5th and 6th spot are really going to be players that are fast, athletic, can block, and also can play special teams. So that's why I'm like, if Merlot can actually learn to play those positions, I'm like, hey, he's going to be he's a better athlete than any of our wide receivers. So if he can learn how to play those special teams, be a gunner, and kind of do all that kind of stuff, hey, he'll make the team. He's going to have to earn it, and it's going to be hard because he's going to be, have a learning curve with the offense. But if he's a quarterback running an offense, I don't think he's going to have a problem understanding Chip Kelly's schemes for being a wide receiver.
Did Luab have a roster spot technically?
At the end of the year, he did, but I don't think
he's considered a roster spot right now. Obviously he's in a practice squad. I don't see him making the team.
No, okay. Yeah, we're going to have 3 running backs. Sincere's going to make the team. Obviously, Genty's going to make the team. And then Mozart should make the team just based off his past.
I can see Mozart being a surprise cut.
He could if he does shitty and back on the injury.
I can see him being a surprise cut. Them rolling maybe with Sincere and Gentry just because they're kind of.
We still have Zamir White.
You do still have Zamir White, yeah. There's a lot of running backs in that backfield. That's why I was bringing them up right now. There's a lot of guys.
Right now, we just have Chris Collier, Genty, Lauby, McCormick, Mozart, and White. So I think we'll run.
You got to run.
Yeah, Collier's going to be gone. If you're going to run 4, you're going to run Genty, McCormick, Mozart, and White, and then Dylan's going to be in the practice squad.
You didn't take 4 running backs into a game?
I mean, you kind of have to in the NFL these days.
Not.
You got to have your first down back, you got to have your short ears back, and you got to have your scat back, which is going to be, and you got to have a backup in case somebody gets hurt.
Yeah. The thing about
Gentry,
the thing that's nice about Gentry is that he can play all of them.
Yeah, if you're not rolling with a fullback, I think you do that. And somebody said McCormick's in the spot. I really think he did last year. He has a chance to be running back too. And if we didn't draft Gentry,
performed really well last year.
He performed well when he was there. Oh, yeah. God damn! How many wide receivers do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I was looking right now, so I was like, Bachman's on there. There's a bunch of guys on there.
We have 10 wide receivers right now. Jesus Christ! Goodbye. So let's just go off. Who the fuck is Shedrick Dance? Okay, so McAllister is going to be a hard one. So Tucker, Thornton, Myers, and Betch are going to make it.
Here, let's change the band.
Yeah, you have a real check. Bachman's probably going to be cut. Foreman, Jackson. I would say McAllister and Wilkerson probably if we don't sign anybody else.
McAllister, I'm surprised that he didn't get more reps at kick returner last year.
Yeah, I see those guys making it. But the thing is now you have Tommy Merlot, who's a better athlete than the last 3 or 4 guys. So we'll see if that happens.
Does Tommy finally get a chance in the NFL?
Who?
Tommy Eichenberg.
He didn't perform well last year. So with Tommy, I thought he was going to be a good run defender. He didn't even do that well.
Yeah.
And I was like, don't sleep on Tommy. He was a really good linebacker in college, but he has to step it up this year or he's not going to get playing time.
No, not at all. I mean, he can maybe be a special teams guy, but that's not what we drafted him for.
No. And so what we have.
He reminds me, I know I've said it before, he reminds me of that guy we drafted from Clemson that was supposed to be like this badass linebacker. I always forget his damn name.
Henry Muse, and he was a safety / linebacker. He was garbage.
What's his name? Muse, right?
Henry Muse, yeah. He didn't even play.
I know. That's what he reminds me of. He's just that same comparison. He's supposed to come in and be this badass and just never pans out.
Yeah. Yeah, we have 7 linebackers right now. I think we roll with 5. I think that's a good number. For me, it would be I think White's going to make the team just because of his athletic ability. But it's going to be Roberts, White, Ike, maybe both Amaris. And then
I think Mark Gainer should have got playing time last year.
Yeah, he didn't really. But then maybe Cody's going to get a roster spot or he's going to be the practice squad. There's a lot of these guys that are drafted later in the rounds. They throw them on the practice squad. They don't really cut them. They throw them on that, hey, let's see if you can develop. We'll bring you on later in the year because we're going to have injuries. Maybe we'll put you in the game, things like that. And they don't really hash out. And they're like, all right, we're done. So.
Do you think Myers is the number 1 receiver? No. I think he's the best number 2 receiver.
Bottom of the league 1, and I've said that, and people get mad. He's a bottom of the league 1 receiver. I'd say he's and I got Karen's coming at me because I called him a slot guy. So in the Patriots, he was a slot guy, but we put him on the outside because Adams is gone.
He's definitely a top 5 number 2 receiver in the NFL easily.
Yeah, I would say he's a great possession wide receiver, but not a true number 1 because he doesn't have explosive ability. He will not drop the ball, but he's also not going to extend the field. So, you see people like that. Let's think of somebody that's like that, like a Edelman or what's the other white guy? Oh my God, Patriots. 80, 82, played for the other team. Shit.
Amendola?
No, the other guy. They had concussion issues. Not Amendola.
Wes Welker?
There you go. Wes Welker. Same thing with Miami. Great possession wide receiver. Had a shit ton of yards a couple of years, but he couldn't extend the field. So, and they had Gronk and Aaron Hernandez for that. But for me, that's what his limitations are. He can't extend the field very well. So he's not going to drop anything, and he's but he's not going to go out there and just dominate. He's going to be consistent. There's a difference. Somebody like Jamar Chase, Jefferson, they're going to just fucking blow the top off a couple games. And there might be games where they only have 3 receptions, but you're going to deal with that when they have 4 touchdowns in a game, or they're going to have 15 at the end of the year. So that's the difference. Jacoby's consistent. He's going to get you 6 or 7 catches, 60 to 70 yards every single week. That's what he does. So,
and it takes a while for it to click for myself as well, but Bowers can definitely play that outside position as well.
I got yelled out on Twitter for that too, because Bowers lined up in the slot about 50% of the time. I was like, I can see them doing that again. That's where he creates mismatches. because
it's hard to comprehend even for myself. I'm like, dude, no, Bowers is listed as a tight end. You know, he's more of a tight end threat, but no, he could play the outside.
he played more snaps at wide receiver than he did tight end last year. I think it was 20. It was like 40 or something percent in the slot, 20% in the wide, and then the rest were tight end and H-back, that kind of bullshit. Mm-hmm. But it was like 60-40 split. He played more as a wide receiver than he did as a tight end, because when you play as a tight end, you have an outside linebacker and you have a defensive end that are going to chip him. Mm-hmm. If you put him at slot, then all of a sudden you got a cornerback that's like, oh shit, I got to cover this guy who's bigger and he's probably not as athletic as me, but he's faster than me and he can run routes better than me. Mm-hmm. So, and he's bigger than me. So that creates a matchup problem there, because are you going to take your cornerback one? Are you going to take your nickel guy? Are you going to take your safety? Anything beyond cornerback one, like beyond Surtain, is a mismatch. You put Surtain on him, Surtain should probably do well. But the thing is, then you got Jacoby running on your cornerback too, and he's going to burn him. So it's a mismatch problem. So Chip Kelly's going to move him around. He's going to put him in motion. It's going to be a fun year to watch him play.
I think the offense is going to excel as well. I'm super excited for the offense. I think they're going to make the huge jump this year. They have so many more weapons. Drafting Beck, as like you said, he's going to be a possession guy. He's going to be a really good blocker. Ashton Gentry's going to have a great year.
Yeah, Beck is fast enough to get past safeties. That's the other thing.
Yeah, he did great at LSU. He was the top receiver at LSU.
Yeah, I said that. So he was like, so you would take him over Brian Thomas, and I was like, no, I was just telling you he caught more
top receiver at LSU at the time. He was a top receiver.
Yeah. The literal fact that he caught more balls at LSU than both those guys. Like, that's a fucking.
You cut out again.
I hate Twitter. Twitter's going to be the death of me. It gives me high blood pressure.
I could tell. Let's bring up Twitter. Let's have some fun. We got a couple minutes left. How was your mentions about the Geno signing?
I didn't read the comments very much. I posted it and recorded it knowing it was going to fucking blow up because of all this shit I talked. I'm like, fuck it. Post it. Send that shit. So, I went there. I knew he was going to be there. So I took a jersey and I had it signed for my son. And so people were like, oh, you're dick riding. I'm like, I literally stood and went like this, and he walked up to me and signed it, and I said, thank you. That's literally all that happened. So people were hating on it, like, you're hating this guy. I'm like, yeah, I don't like every player, but I'm going to still get their autograph. and I just told people, I'm like, how are you going to hate? You're not even in the club. Like, you're at home watching it on TV. Like, you should have been there. If you were there, you could have got it too. Where was your invite? Why don't you have a PSL? Like, how come you didn't go? It's not like it's hard. So it was really funny. And I posted it on purpose to stir shit up. I think I replied to like 2 or 3 comments, and then I just left it because I knew it was going to be the funniest shit ever.
It was honestly the funniest shit ever. I seen you post it. I was like, oh, God damn, he's going to get fucking ripped right now.
Yeah, that's one of the fun, just stay out of the comments. So I did actually have him put 2 Max on the stuff because I was like, hey, my son's name's Max, and you put 2 Max on it. And he's like, 1 X or 2. I was like, 1. And because it legitimately is for my son. So my son has a quarterback wall of every quarterback that started for us. He took down Hoyer, and we took down Stidham because they only started a few games. But he has Carr, he has Garoppolo, he has oh my God, brain fart. AOC, he has Minshew. And now we're adding Geno Smith to the wall of shame.
All your favorite players.
Yeah. So it was pretty cool, but it was a lot of fun. The draft party was awesome. The Raiders really outdid themselves this year. If you guys can go, you're not allowed to sell a ticket, so people were giving them away. Like I got mine given to me. My buddy got 10, and I just went with him. So it's if you can go to the Raider draft party, they really outdid themselves this year. And from what I'm hearing, they're going to do it in the same venue. It was freaking awesome. It was catered. AJ Cole was the DJ again, so he does a really good job. He brought out a lot of old Hall of Fame players. Current players were there. So Geno's there. Tucker was there. Tommy Eichenberg was there. Allen, Tim Brown, and a bunch of other players there. Like there was alumni like out partying, getting drunk and stuff like that in the venue. So it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. It was really cool.
Very, very cool. Very cool. Well, I think it's a good time to wrap it up. This sickness is getting to me. Unless you have anything else to talk about, any comments, anything like that.
I mean, we're going to go over free agency next week, talk about that. Some people are already getting picked up. Coupon John's going to strike. We're going to talk about roster moves, kind of go over the positions, who we think is going to make it. There are still some good free agents out there. It's going to be a really contested roster. How many? I don't even know how many players we have right now. I'd have to go through and count them. It's a pain in the ass.
Vic Toffer is officially not with the Raiders anymore as well.
No, I saw, man. I was like,
very sad about that. Vic Toffer, he was super cool when I met him. I met him countless times in Oakland. He was always super nice guy. I mean, obviously he went back home to his family. He's gonna be covering the Niners, but he covered the Raiders for the past 15 years. So
yeah,
the Raiders or the Athletic moved him over to back home. So good for him. I'm gonna miss Vic.
So. I did think it was funny. So are him and Dubois friends, or because Dubois tweet? Yeah, Dubois' tweet was fucking hilarious. Like he was like, during Vic Toffer's tenure, the Raiders were 40% winning percent. I was like, yeah, because the reporter had something to do with that. I was dying. I should have asked Dubois. I'm like, hey, can you post what Derek Carr's winning percentage is when you were reporting?
Yeah. That's funny.
Wow.
Very funny.
All right, we'll see y'all guys next week.
Yeah, appreciate everyone.